My wonderful friend here of Buckeyewood
Entertainment.
He heads it up. You've seen him before. You guys are very familiar if you've gone out in the party, seen my friend Phil Soto. How you doing, my friend?
Pretty good.
Glad to have you here on the show. You nervous?
Oh, very, very nervous. I'm extremely nervous.
That's awesome because it makes for great entertainment. It's great. It's great. Welcome to the show, episode 14, Sample the Heat. We just go here to promote people who've got something to promote. So in the Glass City, and it's awesome to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely. We're going to start this thing off. Super mild, virtually no heat. It's a jalapeno sauce. Yeah. So instead of tossing the wings, we just, go ahead and put some on. You can be very liberal with this. This is like virtually no heat at all. It's got great flavor.
Is there a minimum amount I have to put on each one?
I'm not going to judge you. Yes, I am. No.
The internet will judge you.
The internet will judge me?
The internet will judge you later.
The internet is pretty harsh, I'll tell you what. Here.
Very good sauce. No heat.
This is good. Yeah.
So getting right into this, so you're kind of the founder, the head man of Buckeyewood Entertainment. Where'd it come from? What made you do this?
Well, when I graduated from college, I had like a decision whether I wanted to go further in my current job and try to get promoted or do something else. And I figured, well, you only live once, so why don't I do something that I think is fun? And that's how I started. Started thinking like, what do I like to do? I like to go to raves, and I like movies and stuff like that. So I thought, why don't I start an entertainment company?
That's awesome.
And that's how that happened.
That's awesome. That's very awesome. I've been to a couple of shows. I've played a couple of your shows. I think it's awesome. There's somebody in this area that's still doing that thing. I know some of your shows. Most of your shows are predominantly electronic music, and we don't get enough of that around here. And I think it's great, and I appreciate what you do. So, thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's like, when I first started, I had some experience with being a part of shows, like a helper or stagehand or something like that. But I never was a DJ or a promoter myself. And when I started promoting, I can recall that the only people that would DJ for me were my friends. And even they were like, well, we don't know if this is such a good idea, Phil, but we're just going to do this because you're our friend.
Well, friends doing fun stuff is like a good way to start out. And then friends invite other friends, and it just grows, and it's turned into a wonderful thing. Moving right along, we're gonna go into sauce number 2. This one is butt plug relief sauce. I picked some fun names, so you get something stuck in your butt. Definitely eat some of this because it's coming out. So check out that label.
Wow. All right,
wild,
that might be a little bit too X-rated for YouTube, will it?
I don't know. They can't see it from here, but
Maybe not.
Our friends will look it up. Butt plug relief sauce.
Oh yeah, I know they will.
This one comes out a little quick. Has a little more heat. Now, keep in mind we're doing these from mild to hottest, so you can definitely create a tolerance as we get hotter. Enjoy.
Ooh, it does come out pretty quick, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. A little more heat. Not much. But it tastes fantastic. Like I've said in previous shows, the worse the names get, I figure the worse the sauces will get, but this actually tastes really good. It's got a little tingle right there on the tongue. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, it's reminds me a little bit about what vinegar would be.
Yeah, it's very vinegar based. So, right now, like as far as throwing parties with Buckeyewood Entertainment, do you have a certain party to mind that has been one of your favorites over the years that just stands out to you?
There was one that I did. It was I called it Toledo Rave 5. It was in April. It was probably April of maybe 2015.
Okay.
Maybe it might have been 14 or I'm not sure. One of those years. And it turned out really well. But what had happened was it was at the end of April. The whole winter it hadn't snowed. The day before it snowed, we had a freak snowstorm. And like it was gonna get snowed out. And when it happened, I had printed up hundreds and hundreds of flyers that I was planning to hand out, but couldn't because of the snowstorm.
Yeah, just like we did, like, go around blanket cars, go to parties.
Yeah, that was the best way to get people to go.
Absolutely.
And
still is.
It is, yeah. I mean, I think radio helps a lot too.
Sure.
And video or online advertising, depending on
Social
how.
media.
Yeah. I mean, word of the mouth is the best, but sometimes that's hard to get without a flyer.
Yeah.
And but when I did it, I had a big stuffed animal penguin, and I decided to put one of the T-shirts I was going to give away to all the DJs on the penguin and put all the flyers on it and ask my friends to share it. And when I did, everybody commented how much they liked the penguin, and so I brought the penguin with me to the rave, and people were dancing around with it. So after a fashion, I just made it into the mascot, and I'm, right now making a new logo for my company that's based around it, and some art that I really like.
I still got like the one party you gave me a pin. It's a penguin pin. Anytime I have to wear a lanyard with my gaming license on it at the casino, the penguin sits right here, right on my heart. So it's kind of cool. So
yeah, I like making pins too. It's they can get kind of expensive.
I'm sure that didn't look like a cheap pin. I mean, it was a straight up enamel. Like, it was a nice pin. So.
Yeah.
And it was cool to get, like, at the end of the show. Like, it was just kind of like an award, almost like a trophy, like you played the show.
Yeah.
Here you go. And I thought it was cool. Like, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
So yeah, that one sticks out the most to me. I remember some people that were playing outside. They literally brought their own like heaters for outside because they wanted to play so bad.
Sure.
And I was like, wow. I was like, well, I guess we're going to have an outside stage, And there's like this much snow on the ground.
Were there people dancing in the snow?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've done some shows where we've had kind of like a heated DJ booth, and it's just for the smokers. Sure. And it was snowing outside, and people just love dancing in the snow. You would be surprised how many people will dance in the snow at some of this stuff. You want to sometimes, like, I always kind of like having music where people are going to be,
Sure.
And people love to take a break from the inside because, you're dancing. Sometimes the lighting and just all the people can be a little intense. You need a little break. So I always try to put like some really chill music on a patio for people to listen to and just smoke their cigarettes or drink some beers or socialize where it's a little less, intense.
Sure. I definitely get that. And that's awesome. I mean, breaking up the rooms that certain ways so you can travel throughout the party and get a different experience.
Well, what a lot of people don't understand about like EDM is there's a lot of different styles of it. And, depending on, just like people are probably familiar more with like pop music, just like there's, the olden pop music, and there's the new pop music, and there's rap pop music, and there's like pop music that has EDM beats. And there's same for EDM. There's lots of different stuff, and you want to try to get a little bit of everything so everybody can dance to what they enjoy the most.
Yeah, no, I definitely get it. I get it. Like, I come from that culture, so.
Yeah, awesome. you were one of the first DJs that I used to go see back in the old days. Remember the place we used to go? It was like a real thin nightclub, so you didn't have that much space. Was it? I forget. Was it Bottle Rocket?
It was Bottle Rocket.
Yeah, it was like we were like.
Taboo was downstairs.
Yeah.
No, Taboo was across the street.
Across the street.
It was a Banana Joe's adventure over at the Commodore Perry. Taboo. Bottle Rocket was both upstairs, downstairs. And it was a punk rock club, and every once in a while we used to do something fun there.
Yeah.
My cousin owned it. R.I.P. Dave. Miss you, brother. But yeah.
I remember going to see you back then, and
I appreciate it.
I mean, it's like a lot of my friends were DJs, so it really did help when I started because I just knew who the people were that could play good, and yeah, it's been it's fun. It's it's not always the most profitable business, but it's really fun and it's very addictive to throw a party where you see a lot of young adults just cutting loose and for maybe 20 minutes out of their week, that they're forgetting all their problems. They're just having a good time, dancing. It's a very special feeling to know that you were the one that made that happen. I know you probably have felt that as a DJ before too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes that's the only thing that you can take away from it. But,
yeah.
But yeah, so no, very, very, very much so. So moving along, another crazy name here that I picked up, which didn't turn out too bad. We got Larry's Hot Pussy Juice. I'm pretty sure.
You must know my friends well, because this is the kind of stuff that they will be paying attention to.
I purchased this online from hotsauce.com. I don't know, maybe be the only person that's ever bought pussy juice in a bottle. Love you, Larry, whoever Larry is. I hope Larry doesn't have a pussy, but if you do, thanks for your juice.
Thanks for your juice.
This comes out pretty quick. I kind of compare this to a Worcestershire style barbecue sauce. Again, we're not getting too hot here.
Oops, I knew I was gonna spill it.
It's fine. Float it all over these boards. Comes off.
Oh, I like this.
Right? A little vinegar, a little Worcestershire, a little barbecue, a little smokiness.
Yeah, I know. It's
Talking with my mouth full. You're going to get that with this show. If you don't like it, I don't care. Moving right along with the questions. Best DJ you think you've ever booked? Maybe a famous one that you've ever booked for your parties? Something off the top of the head. I know you do a lot of local things.
Well, I mean, DJ Pony definitely has been in the top 5, right?
Green room shout out. Green room shout out.
Boy, I have to think about that. There's been a lot of really good DJs.
I know.
And sometimes there's so many DJs in Toledo that write their own music that are so good that...
Wait, Sharkbait?
Sharkbait writes really good music. Inner Vines writes really good music. Swoops writes really good music. Jakey, who used to be Tigress, I love his music. I've used his music in my ads. Audio Flash writes. I could go on and.
That's the other.
He can play.
I think he used to work at the casino. Actually, I think he used to.
He did used to work at. Well, he's my roommate now.
Oh no shit!
It's a long story.
You gotta tell him I said hi. I haven't seen that guy.
Yeah. He's but I have a couple extra rooms, and I have usually people that are in the scene end up rooming with me at some point or another.
Whatever pays the bills.
You know what I mean? Whatever. So yeah, but for somebody famous.
I know we all used to collab with other promoters and other party throwers, and everybody always tries to book that one headliner. So I was just I didn't know if you've ever actually booked, or if you just stuck closer to the local scene. I know you. I
was very excited last summer. I booked Diesel Boy. That was probably the biggest headliner I ever booked. That I wasn't working with somebody else. Sometimes there's another promoter, and they're the one that is putting most of the money towards it.
Phil, Heavy Grinder?
Heavy Grinder, I really like Heavy Grinder.
Did I play that? Did I play that party? I think I played that party. Heavy Grinder? Inside. I think I played Inside.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you did. That was...
Tragic play that one? I think I maybe followed...
No, that was at Realm.
It was back at Realm.
I know. Then I definitely did not play that party.
No, let's see here. Yeah, I got a good story about DJ Tragic though. I book his nephew too.
Okay.
Once I wanted to put them on at the same time in different rooms, but I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it to see nephew or who was gonna be the best DJ. But it's that's what it is so cool. EDM's multi-generational. There's uncle and nephew. I book one guy all the time, Ethan, who's Dorian's son.
Yes.
And he's
Comes
a
with
very
speakers.
he is super talented. Like, well, not just as speakers, he's super talented. Like, you see him spin on, most DJs have like basically 2 little decks that they spin on, but he'll spin with like 3. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more layering of the sounds, and sometimes people can overdo it and it just sounds like garbage. But it's when people do know how to do it and layer songs, it is like magic.
Yeah, it's very pleasing to the ears.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. Like when you get them kids started young.
Oh yeah,
and they start rolling with it. Like their minds grow with the music, and the music grows with their minds, and it like just meshes. And like I know Ethan started very young.
Yeah, I think his dad started teaching him when he was like 5 or something.
Wow, that's insane.
I was just talking to Otis about his kid, and I was like, "When are you going to start teaching?" He's like, "I've already did it." And his kid's like 3.
Does Manny got his kid on the turntables yet?
I don't know. We should see.
No, you don't.
I went to Manny's new club on the docks last Friday.
Chaos.
And it was really nice. I really liked it,
Yeah? I was going to try to go out last week, and I don't know, just sometimes the casino will take a lot out of you on a Friday or Saturday night.
I know.
It gets intense there. It really does. But I plan on coming out and checking that place out here.
Yeah, I mean, it was always a really nice club. Sometimes certain elements would ruin it because they'd start fights, but it always was a really nice club.
No,
whoever owned it, it was always been, on the river, nice layout and everything,
Absolutely. All right, we're going to move on to sauce number 4. We're almost halfway through, Phil. This comes all the way from Sarasota, Florida. This is Walt's Fish Market. Now, we did the habanero last week. I toned it down a little bit. We're doing the Serrano this week. This is actually my buddy Josh. He owns SmashingToledo.com. This is his favorite sauce. He brought it to me straight from Florida. Told me I had to have it. Kind of has this Old Bay vibe, like it goes with seafood kind of, but it goes very well with wings. Yeah, here we go. Bottle number 4. I like a lot of sauce. These wings are crispy.
Speaking of Josh, he messaged, he wants to know when a guest will help themselves to a rare bottle behind you, since you have plenty.
Josh, you're doing the bourbon sauce episodes, so I hope you do that.
All right.
Each bourbon matches up.
What? That's not going to work if he brings that pappy. That pappy sauce, I don't know where that's going to come from. So rolling right out of that, most impressive up and coming DJ you've booked that you've seen grow.
Well, I will say it was probably Miles, and he just recently passed away. He was starting to write some really great music, and his life ended too shortly. He got in a car accident earlier this year or last year, and he was, he struggled to get booked at first, and at first he wasn't really writing his own original music, and he met Omar Garcia, who's a DJ in town, and Omar kind of took him under his wing,
for the
showed him
After Dark
sessions, and taught him how to start writing music, and he started to meet a lot of DJs that had a very similar style of music. He had a pretty broad range, but he was meeting people up in Detroit that were starting to really pay attention to him. He started to get booked up there all the time, and then he got in a car accident just not too long ago. I don't want to talk too much about it. I might start crying here. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But he was truly a great DJ, and I try to have somebody play some of his music every show.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's cool. He's definitely graced the Sample Studios when we were doing live streams here on a weekly basis. I was kind of doing this on the turntables, and
he could have been something. One day he could have been some. There's some some of the DJs we've already mentioned. I mean, there's some really good DJs that are writing music in town. Man, I would have known you were asking me this question, I'd have brought you a big list of like, here's like the 20 DJs I would like to push in town or something.
No, I'm just trying to take them right off the top of the head because we don't.
Well, sometimes I'll go home and I'll be like, damn, I should have said this DJ. He's definitely like on top of stuff.
It's all good. We have returned. We'll have you back sometime.
And then I'll have to make it up, and I'll feel bad. I'll be like, oh man, I should have said you, dude.
It's all good. It's all good. Moving right along. We're at the halfway point. Everybody knows Steve-O from Jackass. He came out with his own sauce. He came out with 2 of them. I went with the more mild one. So it's hot sauce for your butthole.
Oh, brother.
This is one of my favorite sauces. I would have no problem eating a dozen wings on this.
Phil, you're getting lucky. I see you looking over here. The other one's hotter.
Tons of garlic. He's got a butthole destroyer. So I saved you there. We're not going to do
Okay, good.
We're not trying to destroy your butthole today. So we're just doing hot sauce for your butthole. This is my 3rd bottle I've gone through. We're almost halfway through. It's one of my favorite sauces, super garlicky. So again, I think you can be very generous with this and still be okay with it. So good. Definitely has more heat than the last one, though. You like it, though.
That's good.
Good flavor. So we're going to roll it back to the penguin. Tell me a story about the lost penguin.
Oh, man. It's actually 2 stories. I got to take a little drink of water first.
No, do your, like I said, we've got the almond milk here, so it's not
Well, I work for the water department, so if I got to push water, local water, it's still good. Don't be afraid to drink our water. Keep me employed. It's the way I'm paying for all these raves. So, well, okay, so the original OG penguin I still have, but he was not really appropriate for the club. So during Christmas, there was a real big penguin, twice as big as him, and it was the perfect size for the t-shirts and everything. So I bought this penguin and, started using him for the shows, and, it was pretty free and relaxed with letting people just dance with him. There was one person that would kind of look after him for me at the club. So one of the bigger shows, some random person, to this day I don't know who it was. He was, but from what I understand, he was drunk. He took the penguin and saw 2 pretty girls and just gave it to these girls.
It's like, here, I give you this penguin.
Here's a gift for you. And these girls didn't know that it was our mascot, so, actually, Ramus Bishop,
Yeah,
you guys,
yeah.
the DJ, he very, very good DJ in town. He screenshotted me one of their picture of them holding the penguin. Like, some random guy just gave us this penguin on Snapchat. He's like, do you want it back? And so I messaged him back, but if anybody knows Ramus, he's not the fastest to message you back for stuff. So it's like a few days later, and he still hasn't messaged me back. So I'm like, well, I want this penguin back. So I just posted on Facebook that I wanted, hey, please come home, penguin.
Right.
And it just started like a huge comment chain about things. Eventually, it got back to the women that had him, and it was sort of like a bunch of pictures of us going back and forth, then bringing it to the I think it was somewhere in halfway point between where I lived and where they lived, parking lot. I'm bringing him back, and picture of them in the back of the seat, and
That's
me
cool.
me putting him back in my car, and it turned out fun. But unfortunately, about a year later, I decided one of my friends gave me a penguin onesie, so I would go as the penguin for Halloween, and I brought him with me up to a nightclub in Ann Arbor called Necto.
Yeah.
Which is a super fun club, and I don't blame them at all, but somebody took the penguin when I wasn't looking.
Oh.
And I was like, how did you guys not notice somebody like walking out of this place without a huge stuffed penguin? So I don't know how he got away, but even he was the most, like, all the DJs there and stuff tried to get him back for me and asked online, but I couldn't get him back. And I've never been able to find another stuffed animal that big that was a penguin. So if you guys ever see one out and about in Toledo, come on in here or let me know. I will definitely buy it.
Let's get the Ray Penguin back.
Because I got
maybe
the T-shirt
a cousin or a brother or sister of the Ray Penguin.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind having a big stuffed penguin again, that I could bring to the shows.
No, that was definitely a cool time, and I definitely remember all the Facebook stuff that was going on, and like it was a huge deal, especially with the Toledo Ray family. It was people trying to find this penguin.
Oh yeah,
it
was weird. It could have almost been a movie because there's like hundreds of people commenting. It wasn't like a couple comments and a couple likes. It was like turned into like a real ordeal. And it was sort of like it's just a stuffed animal, but it was like
almost everybody's kid.
It was
what I mean?
It was like if somebody lost a puppy or something, and they're like, "Come home, puppy," like.
Well, next one we'll stick an air tag in, so we'll know where it's at all times with any iPhone.
True. True. I had a friend that was a DJ once that when he first started DJing, he put all his music on an iPod. And when you first start, you don't have a lot of money for it, so that's how you do it. And somebody stole his little iPod with all his music on it. But the dummy, as soon as he turned it in, it got pinged, and he was able to go to. Right. It's like,
you got it. Give it here.
Give it here. Yeah. Well, the guy ended up paying him for it. Like I guess he somehow destroyed it or something.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, better than I guess getting arrested. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, we're over the hill here. Past the halfway point. We've got Dirty Dicks. So we went from hot sauce for your butthole back to Dirty Dicks. So it's a hot pepper sauce with tropical twist. It's definitely got some sweetness to it. Very tasty, like I said.
I can already feel my tongue tingling, guys.
Well, you should. Definitely some brown sugar notes and all kinds of fun stuff. Enjoy this. It tastes good.
I can put a little more on, I guess, so I don't get judged on the internet.
You won't be mad at that. Shout out to the wing station over there on Secor in Sylvania. They provide the wings for this show. Whenever you see me here, they do a great job with these wings. You can hear the crisp and the crunch, and
it definitely tastes like something that you might get like at a Chinese restaurant, like a sweet and sour chicken or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So besides DJs and music, you also hire other entertainment for your parties, for other people, more aligned to the visual side. Tell me more about that.
Well, I mean, I work with a company in town called Vocalvation. They're basically kind of like a circus troupe. They do a lot of flow art, and
let them know what flow art is.
I'm trying to think. It's kind of like go-go dancing, but it's not necessarily sexual like go-go dancing is.
Okay.
You would dance to like with hula hoops or sometimes like light up props, and it's sort of like a human light show. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like,
yeah.
Or sometimes the people dance with more acrobatics, or so they might have like wire acts, like you would see more like in the circus or something.
Cool.
And the idea is generally that you have a pattern of flow consistent with the music. So like everybody's familiar with like the old break dancing, this kind of flow.
Yeah.
Well, you do that with your whole body. That's usually flow.
Okay.
Goes like that,
Cool.
There's a few visual DJs in Toledo and that are pretty good. They're like what a visual DJ is like they do like projections on screens. Sometimes they coordinate those with like lasers and other lights to kind of immerse the crowd in a sort of light show. Unfortunately, I can't usually afford a lot of that for my shows because I try to keep the price tags under $20, and a lot of them under $5. Some of my shows are just $5.
Sure.
And that starts to get pretty expensive pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
I can imagine.
Well, it's not just that you're paying the artist, but there's a lot of labor involved. I mean, you're hanging lights, you're doing all this.
Well, it's expensive. I mean, I know when if you book me to DJ music versus DJ music videos, I'm charging a significant amount more because the product I have to put out costs me more.
Yeah.
You know, instead of it being 99 cents at $2 per track, now things are costing $5, $6, sometimes $12 for a music video that I have to spin. So I have to charge you more for that. I think it goes hand in hand, especially with, you know, some of these guys are developing their own videos. So it's not just their 1 hour set that they're putting on. They just spent 12 hours in like the last 3 weeks putting together and creating these visuals and making sure everything's
Yeah, and they're spending a lot of money on it too. It's not really fair to, you know, not pay them something, you know, equitable for what they're doing. You know, for all my shows, I always try to pay everybody that's involved. You know, I don't ever ask people to, you know, there's like this term pay to play.
Sure.
You know, I don't ever ask people to pay to play. Right. But when you do that, you know, profit margins are a lot less. We'll say, and it's a lot harder to do shows.
But I think especially for up and coming DJs, you also provide a great avenue for people to kind of showcase, okay, this is what I can do. Come check it out. Maybe I only do it for the one show or the 2 shows, but I think you create a great avenue for people to introduce themselves to the party scene. So,
well, a lot of people, I started doing this thing, and I don't do it every month. It's called Open Decks. It's basically open mic, but for DJs. And you know, I did it for one reason, for myself, just to look for talent, you know, and I know other promoters in the area come to it and just look for talent. But another reason is sort of similar to Miles and Omar, where we were talking earlier, where there's a DJ that's got way more experience, understands how to, like, say, write music and not just play music. And, you know, and these younger guys, they don't have somebody that can teach them, and if you go to school for that, it's very expensive. You know, not everybody that's a talented musician, just like any other art form, everybody that's a talented artist or musician can afford to go to some university, spend tens of thousands of dollars to learn the craft. Sometimes it's a peer-to-peer teaching.
Yeah.
And I often find when people are somewhat self-taught, what they really need to go to that next level where you can listen to their music and really enjoy it is they need an older DJ to kind of take them under their wing, show them like the do's and don'ts, because, you know, if you own a nightclub and you want people to have a good experience, especially if there's a dance floor, you need a DJ. You just can't use a jukebox. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is like, it's not, you can get the crowd to have such a better time with a DJ than a jukebox. And, you know, but for the bar owner or club owner, it's to their benefit anyways, because a good DJ will look at the crowd, see they're getting too hyped up, and calm the music down so there's not a fight. A good DJ will look at the crowd, see that nobody's getting any drinks at the bar, and purposely put on a bad song so people will go to the bar.
It's called a left turn.
You know, and these tricks and understanding the crowd so that they have a good time, but don't get too hyped up. That they make sure that they're still drinking and doing everything right. Those are things that like DJs need to learn from other DJs. You know. So when I did this, I was, you know, purposely hoping that, older DJs would see something that they liked in the younger DJs and then teach them. And that's why I think Toledo has so many good DJs in comparison to other areas around us, is because so many of these other DJs have had somebody, even maybe not to the extent of Miles, but like had somebody come in and like, hey, I liked your set. Have you ever tried this, this, and this? That's been around longer. And that's really helped some of these younger guys like get some real good foots in the door around this area,
Sure. No, it's very awesome. Take note, Mr. Yo-Yo Guy. I call him DJ Silly Strings. He plays with yo-yos. He's fantastic. I taught him how to DJ a little bit beginning of last year, and I'm dying to get him into one of your open deck sets. So this is the guy to talk to. Hit him up. You know how to find him. He's all linked up on this show. So Mr. Yo-Yo Guy, hit him up. I'd like to see you out there playing, because you definitely got some talent out there to show people. So moving right along. Let's see, what are we? 7, 8, 9. We're at number 7. We're almost done, Phil. You're cruising right along.
I know. I'm getting scared. I know the last ones are the.
Don't get scared, Phil. Let's see here. Before I ask the question, let me get some sauce on the swing.
All right.
This one's like a little bit of a bitch to get out of the bottle. Don't get on my nice sweatshirt. By the way, the Sample the Heat merch is up and live. You can get t-shirts for $15. All proceeds go to a local charity at the end of the year, which I'll let you guys vote on which charity I use somewhere around December. So I will put the link in the comments after I post this up for public view. This is Hotter Than L. Love Burns.
Loves Burns? Mm-hmm. People get pretty creative with these hot sauce names.
Mm-hmm. That one's got some heat to it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Getting them. Stepping away from the music scene a little bit. You said you work at the water plant or Toledo Water or wherever. You got a degree? Did you go to school? Like, explain. Please explain.
I started in the parks department and just as a seasonal, cutting the grass in the summertime, and when they went to hire people full time, I really just wanted to go back to the parks department, but I got a job in the water department and found out that there were some kind of like, trades and some more operational things with the EPA. So I went and got an operator's license, which lets me treat the water. Our plant is so big that you need a higher license than what I do to completely do the whole job, but I do one section of it. Right now I work at this pump station that's really nice. It's in a nature preserve on the coast of the lake.
Oh, cool.
And there's like about 8 bald eagles around us.
Sweet.
So it's like really protected, like ultra protected, And it's really nice. It's just like kind of being in not like a swamp, but you know what I mean, like a forested, swampy area. And,
sure.
I'm run a few tests, some once a day, some once an hour, just checking the water, making sure that it's what it's like before they treat it. And I had some pre-treatment chemicals to it to kind of like help them out down the way. But, the water that I'm pumping is like 8 hours away from being treated. So okay. It's going down the pipes,
Right on. That's cool. How long have you been doing that?
Well, I've been an operator for almost 20 years now.
Wow.
But I've worked for the city since '96.
Oh, cool. That's a year after I graduated high school.
Well, I graduated high school in '95 too. I just, but seasonal work is a little different. It's like minimum wage kind of work,
Right. No, yeah, I definitely know. I've done some seasonal work.
Yeah.
Camp counselor. No one goes to camp in the winter.
Well, one of the things I'm not so sure about anymore, but because a lot of things have changed since the 90s. But like back then, like if you worked as a seasonal or as a part-time employee, they would usually hire you in, because they got a good sense of, So I worked as a part-time employee for almost 5 years.
Okay, all right. So you got your foot in the door and it's progressed into a profession, which is pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. All right. 8, bottle 8. Everybody knows this one. This is the infamous The Bomb.
I'm gonna hit the pre-lube up for this one, guys.
You do whatever you need. I got honey back there.
Use as much lube as you need.
As much lube as I need.
I got ice cream in the freezer, but you said you're not good with lactose, so you might stay away from the ice cream. But
oh, brother.
The Bomb coming in at number 8 every episode. This is what everybody watches so far. So enjoy. Or don't.
They watch to see your people's pain.
It's more the reaction.
All right, I put enough on there just so you guys can see it. All right.
I've seen some people put less on there. Richie. So as you bite into that wing of death, any thought about taking Buckeye Wood Entertainment into more of a label and expressing some of your DJs out there to statewide parties to draw more attention to your parties and your promotions?
I've actually thought about starting a label. The thing is, like a lot. I was like talking to somebody about this yesterday. It costs about $250 to start a label, and so there's a lot of labels out there. If I were gonna start a label, I would definitely hold on. I need some more of this.
Yeah.
I would definitely need. I definitely want it to somehow be connected to a bigger label that was out there, like
a sub-label.
Yeah, a sub-label of something bigger. You know what I mean? So that it would actually kind of mean something to be on the label. You know what I mean? Versus just any label.
I definitely see where you're going with that. I think you've got enough flair and got enough people here, enough talent here, that I think you could start a local label and then grow into a sub-label, which is kind of weird. You just want to, about starting a label and you want to just explode as like that main label. But like I think growing in and showing that you are worthy of being a sub-label to a bigger label, and then that explodes you nationwide. I think starting the label and starting to book more festivals, local, statewide festivals, and getting your DJs out there, I think would grow attention and bring some to your party. And then
there's some people doing this already in Toledo. What they're doing is they're starting a little music collectives, and they'll like make their own, like they'll maybe make like their own little track CDs. Like so, After Dark Sessions was one that we talked about, but there's a lot of them in this area. Whew, this heat is starting to get to me, guys. I'm trying.
That one will do it.
Rob's turned red.
I did. It might be the tanning bed that I did earlier. But... Oh, did I say that? Shit.
But without saying too much words because the heat. But yeah, there's some people that are starting to do that. They're making these little music collectives. I'm working with one for my next open decks. They're called, the Bass Chasers. And
I seen that. I just seen it. I was scrolling through your page and I seen that. So tell me more about the Bass Chasers.
They're a bunch of young guys. They play more music that's bass heavy, and they're just from like the Northwest Ohio area. There's some that I think are from Indiana and some from Michigan, but mostly from that area.
Cool.
And they just work together and try to book shows together, and sometimes it's easier for me as a promoter to go to a collective and just say like, hey, like I need like 5 DJs. Can you give them to me? Because sometimes when you book DJs that are different genres or different styles of music, it really clashes to put them in the same room and have them.
Well, absolutely. You don't want to put like Chicago Jack and House DJ in a room where like you've got like, two dubstep or jungle DJs playing, because it just changes the vibe and the mood a whole lot.
There's a tempo for things too.
Oh yeah.
And also like sometimes when people come, and this isn't just for EDM, but I think people that are in bands and stuff will attest to this. Sometimes people just come to see the band that they're friends with or the DJ that they're friends with. And when you have a lot of very similar music to what their friends are listening to, then they're going to stay and dance the whole time. When you start to play music that's like radically different than what their friends play, they're just going to leave. So when you book a collective, like say if I go to Omar and say, hey, Omar, would you want to do like a patio session? I need like 5 guys. He'll get 5 guys that all are used to playing with each other, play similar music. If somebody's coming to see one of them, they'll stay to see the other 4. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So like collectives actually are pretty useful. I would tell DJs, like, once you get to the point where you feel pretty confident in playing, you should probably look for a collective or 2 to join in the area. And they will help you get gigs.
Absolutely. I think that's good advice, and that just shows the science behind planning some of these events and some of these parties. Like, it's not just I'm going to throw a bunch of DJs in a room. Like, you've got to coordinate that a little bit. So, man, mad props.
Yeah, and sometimes it's building up. And sometimes you don't always want to put the least experienced DJs early in the day, because sometimes like if there's multiple stages and one stage is going to be heard outside, you want somebody really good outside from the very beginning. So anybody driving past is going to hear really good music from the very beginning. You don't necessarily want to put a rookie on that stage. And I've talked to some of my friends about it before, and they're like, "Why did you put me on so early?" I'm like, "Because somebody good has to play at that time slot. It can't just be anybody."
Yeah, it's advertisement, man.
Yeah. Well, if you start a show and people get off of work and they're coming down the street at 5 o'clock and they're going to hear the music on their way home, I mean, that's like free advertising.
It is. Oh,
I
like
mean?
this. I'm going to come right in.
Yeah.
Let's have a beer. All right. Number 9. We're almost done, Phil.
We're almost done.
Almost done.
Man. I know how my friends are. They're watching this just to see me cry.
Dave's Insanity, Ghost Pepper, coming in at number 9 here.
All right, after the last one, I might be a little bit more dotty with this one, guys. I'm sorry.
Apparently, I'm not. So I dress that wing all the way to the fullest. I'm gonna eat this son of a bitch too. So, Dave's Insanity, Ghost Pepper. Dave's Insanity, coming along with question number 9 here. Let me get some of this.
Whoa. Why did you tell me it came out quick? You told me for all the other ones.
You just watched it. I didn't think I had to tell you.
Oops, some of it fell off.
That's right. That's right.
Training wheels are off. I know you're loving this, Adam.
So,
love you, brother.
No.
So, question number 9. Bring the foam. I know all your parties in the past hasn't always brought foam. It's only happened in the last few years here. But you are absolutely famous for bringing the foam parties to Main Street. What brought that about? What was involved with that?
Well, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the old nightclub. You guys get to see me cry soon. The old nightclub Brett's. It was a terrific nightclub. It was LGBTQ themed most of the time, but some of the best EDM you're going to hear. When I was a young man, I used to love to go there after 2 a.m. because they would start playing just EDM.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I would just go there after I left another EDM club, and I would go there and be able to hear it for another 2 hours.
Yep.
One of the big things they used to do is they used to have like these foam parties. And when they closed, I just thought people were going to somebody else was just going to start doing them, but nobody did. So I started working with Main Street Bar and Grill, and they have a the nicest patio in Toledo, bar none. And it is really set up for it because they have like drainage on their patio. So cleanup is a lot. Like a lot of nightclubs that do it, they do foam parties when they're getting ready to change their carpet or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't do it like all the time because it causes some damage, like water. It's basically water damage.
Sure is. The only thing it's washing is your shoes.
So I went to Main Street and I said, would you guys be interested? And they're like, well, let's try it. Let's try it, you know. It turned out pretty successful. People have fun. You know, it's something like spring break-ish for people to do in Toledo, you know.
Well, and you do a few of them throughout the warm season. So, and I know you've named quite a few of them. So we'll get into that in the next question.
Yeah. It's fun. It's you know, it's kind of like, I guess it's the big closest analogy, something like a pool party. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, and I play EDM, but I try to tell all the DJs to keep it kind of like light, you know, more EDM like you'd hear on the radio kind of stuff, you know.
Right, more like Chicago club style. Like,
Yeah.
You know, maybe somebody knows, maybe it's the remix of Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Or maybe the remix of Nicki Minaj or whatever, every once in a while. So.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the things I always try to tell my friends when they go somewhere where it's not really an EDM club and they want to play EDM is like, don't play the straight banger EDM hits right after another. Play like some remixes and then play one of them. And like we were talking about, like making lulls in the crowd for people to go to the bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, if the owner asks you why you played every 3 songs, like a song nobody wanted to dance to, you just tell them you're making a lull in the crowd for people to go to the bar. After a few months of playing that music, people will get used to it and they'll want to start to hear it.
They will. They like that one song you played last week, like not in between the Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears song. That track, play that one.
Well, you know what always kind of bugs me, and you probably hear it too, is like old trance songs are like being remixed for top 40 now, and you can hear it. And these were very obscure trance songs, and you know what I mean. And you'll be like, oh my God, this is a top 40 song now. You know what I mean? And they like completely ripped it off, you know.
Well, even like what 10 years ago, you started hearing it with house music. Pitbull was grabbing every like house music top 10 and like turning it into his own song, and all of a sudden it was pop music, you know. So like you hear that with like a lot of Pitbull's old albums. Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to hit me, guys.
We only got one more left. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's
Last one,
tear
Phil.
off the Band-Aid. You know what I'm saying?
Last one, Phil. We got the Wicked Reaper. I'll tell you how hot these are after the show, so then you can impress your friends when you go home.
No.
This comes out a little quick, so a little warning there.
All right, because this is going in a dab here, baby. I saved the smallest. See my strategy? I saved the smallest wing for the last one.
Yeah.
That's not smart. You want more chicken.
Oh, well, maybe you do.
Don't listen to the peanut.
See, this dab looks big by comparison.
It's really not that bad. I thought the last one was worse. So this is your chance, Phil. What's your plans for parties in 2022? Let them rip. I mean, if you have any secrets you want us not to hear just yet, but what do you got coming up? We know you have the open decks coming up here soon.
I am gonna do the foam parties again, obviously. I have an idea. I guess, how can I put this? When I was younger, you would go up to Detroit to a rave. Or I should say more like a warehouse party rave style way. When you would show up to the location that it was said it was at, was never the location. They would tell you to go somewhere else. And you know what I mean? And sometimes you'd have to go to 2 or 3 places before you would actually go to the actual location.
Right.
And I sometimes feel like people that are into EDM are missing out on these kind of experiences.
Sure.
And there's this. Sometimes it was referred to as like a treasure hunt rave or a scavenger hunt rave, where you go from place to place. So I want to try to do one of those this summer. I have a friend that has recently shown me his new warehouse and he knows he wants to do shows there. And I was like, okay, let's do something like that there. And then I pitched him this idea. And I would kind of like to use it to maybe get both like maybe some corporate sponsors that like, hey, you show that there's going to be people going from place to place looking for clues. So they show up at your head shop or your tattoo shop to get their clues. So then, hey, there's just 300 people walking through the door that you can, tell anything to. And maybe some charities like, hey, you bring a canned good to this charity, you get your next clue, or, this charity will, like some of them that won't be applicable to. So maybe like I'll put the clue on the back of a pamphlet for the charity. So you take the pamphlet with the clue on it, and then they have to have the pamphlet for it.
Okay, cool.
So the scavenger hunt could actually kind of mean something, you know what I mean?
Sure, drive business across.
And then just at the end, you get to go to this warehouse party and have a fun time. I want to do that. And I have been working on my business has been working on movies. I started working with this really talented director in town, Anthony Wright. He helped me do a lot of work for charities. And so after that, I was like, hey, can I hire you for my business too? You know what I mean? Because he was helping me film charity videos and help the charities get money during COVID. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he decided to make his own independent film in 2019, and he asked me if I wanted to be a producer for it, and I said, well, what's it about? He said, time travel, and I said, I'm in. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's basically a time travel drama. This guy, his wife is murdered, and he finds a time travel device and decides he's going to go back in time and try to save his wife. So it's showing at the Maumee Indoor Theater on the 25th.
Oh, so 25th of this month?
Of this month. So you can go see the movie. And then afterwards, Ethan is having a rave, and he's got Drum Terror coming all the way from London. You should go see the movie, then go afterwards to go to the rave afterwards.
Is this a treasure hunt rave, or can you tell people where the rave's going to be?
Oh, it's not a treasure hunt. It's going to be at Main Street.
Okay, Main Street.
Yeah, it's going to be Main Street Bar and Grill on the east side of Toledo on Main Street, but it's also called Main Street.
Right. Well, it's not a bad part of East Side. It's actually an up-and-coming area right now.
Well, it's considered the docks.
Yeah.
ProMedica's bought most of that area anyways. Pretty soon it will be like everywhere else downtown.
Right. No, it looks gorgeous down there. And, that is awesome. So
I'm also hopefully going to be making a movie in 23 too. I'm kind of working on it's going to be about raves, and I've wrote it myself. I've been talking to some people in Michigan and around the area about it, and I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that we'll be able to make this movie too.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see the movie at the Maumee Indoor, and I'm definitely going to go down to Main Street. I mean, it's on my way home from work, so I really drive right past it. So I hope you guys accept a man in a three-piece suit and a bow tie in a rave. So I'll be that weird guy there, a Heineken and a bow tie. Who's the old guy at the rave?
Oh no! You won't. Oh, it's all ages. It's not an all ages show. It's 18 over, but I mean, there's all ages of people there.
I know.
There's anywhere from 18-year-olds to like 52-year-olds. I mean, there's a lot of people there, There's like the guy that's doing it, his dad taught him to DJ. Like his dad's going to be there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Ethan's a great dude. Me and Dorian and you, we're all about the same age. So
his dad's our age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. Well, 10 sauces, you did it. Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
It wasn't as bad, but I am probably still...
Still feeling it, aren't you?
Still feeling it. I want to thank you a lot for having me on and letting me talk about my business and stuff.
Absolutely. That's what this is for, man. We're just two dudes hanging out eating some hot wings.
And I'd also like to thank Adam because he's always been such an upstanding person.
Yeah. Adam Weiss, DJ Pony back there in the Peanut Gallery, co-producing, playing the co-producer part here. So again, that concludes episode 14. Phil Soto, Buckeye Wood Entertainment. Go see his parties at Main Street, and go see his movie on the 25th at the Maumee Indoor. Wonderful job. Thank you for being here. Next week, episode 15, we have DJ XL coming on. So moving right along with the music scene. So again, thanks again. That concludes. We'll see you next week.